We cannot
Good morning,
see it.
everyone. It's a pleasure to be here representing the doctorate in dental science at the Autonomous University of San Luis Potosí. Today, I'll be representing our study titled Dietary Profile, Soluble Receptor of Advanced Glycation and interleukin-6 in individuals with obesity and periodontitis. This research explored how obesity, diet, and inflammation interact with the periodontal disease and how these factors are biologically connected. Through this presentation, I'll briefly go over the background, the study design, and the focus on our main findings and the clinical implications. Here is the outline of my talk. We'll start with the introduction, then move through the materials and methods, then main results, and finally the discussion and conclusions. Let's begin with the introduction. Periodontal disease include various conditions that affect the supporting tissues of the teeth, such as gingivitis and periodontitis. Among these, periodontitis is the most severe and it is recognized as a chronic and multifactorial inflammatory disease, mainly triggered by a bacterium biofilm. It not only damages periodontal tissue, but also contributes to systemic inflammation, which has been linked to several chronic diseases. In this image, we can observe the destruction of the supporting tissues, including bone and periodontal ligament, as a consequence of periodontitis. This illustrates how a local bacteria infection can lead to deep structural damage and, over time, tooth loss if left untreated. Periodontitis has been associated with multiple systematic disease, including diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and more recently, obesity. These conditions share inflammatory and oxidative stress pathways, which help explain why oral and systemic health are so closely linked. So, periodontitis should be considered not only as a local oral condition, but as a potential systemic inflammatory burden as well. Obesity is defined as an excessive accumulation of body fat that can be harmful to health. It is characterized by elevated levels of inflammatory molecules such as interleukin-6, tumor necrosis alpha factor, and C-reactive protein. These molecules not only affect metabolism but may also intensify inflammatory response in periodontal tissues. One important mechanism that may explain this connection involves the advanced glycation end products, or RGAS. These compounds are formed when sugars bind to proteins, lipids, or nucleic acids without enzymatic control. They can arise from internal metabolism or from external dietary sources, especially processed or high-tempered cooked foods. When H bind to the complete form of RAGE, they activate oxidative stress and inflammatory cascades. However, the soluble form of the receptor, known as sRAGE, acts as an adequate receptor to bind H's and prevent this harmful reaction. In this image, we can see the different isoforms of the RAGE receptor. The full-length membrane-bound RAGE has the ability to trigger intracellular signaling pathways that lead to inflammation, while sRAGE, the soluble isoform, lacks the intracellular tail and therefore acts as an accompanied inhibitor that blocks inflammatory signaling. Recent studies have also shown that diet plays a crucial role in this relationship. Anti-inflammatory diets rich in omega-3, fatty acids, vitamin C, antioxidants, and fiber can reduce gingival inflammation and improve periodontal health. Therefore, evaluating the dietary profile on individuals with obesity and periodontitis is essential to identify nutritional factors that may influence inflammation. The objective of this study was to evaluate the relationship between obesity, serum sRAGE levels, periodontitis, and dietary intake patterns. By integrating these factors, we aim to understand how metabolic, inflammatory, and nutritional aspects interact in the development and severity of periodontal disease. Our working hypothesis proposed that individuals with overweight or obesity and periodontitis will show increased IL-6 levels, altered dietary profiles, and decreased sRAGE levels compared to normal weight individuals without periodontitis. This study was approved by the Research Ethics Committee of the Faculty of Dentistry at the UASLP. It was a cross-sectional design conducted between September 2023 and December 2024, using a consecutive, not probabilistic sample method. Participants were recruited through online platform posters and flyers. All were systemically healthy adults who voluntarily participate and provide written informed consent. A total of 113 participants were initially evaluated and 98 meet the inclusion criteria. They were divided in 4 groups: normal weight without periodontitis, normal weight with periodontitis, overweight or obesity without periodontitis, overweight or obesity with periodontitis. This classification allows us to compare both the effect of nutritional status and periodontal condition. Periodontitis was diagnosed following the 2018 international classification. A full mouth examination was conducted, including third molars and recurring probing depth, attachment loss, bleeding or proving, plaques index, caries, and tooth loss. All measurements were performed at 6 sites per tooth using a manual periodontal proof, ensuring consistent and accurate evaluation. The plaques index was determined by evaluating the buccal and occlusal surface of selecting teeth. Gingivitis was identified based on the percentage of bleeding sites, allowing us to classify inflammation as localized or generalized. This approach provides standardized comparison among all 4 study groups. For the collection of gingival crevicular fluid, sterile paper points were inserted into the deepest periodontal pockets for 30 seconds. Samples were then placed into the epender tube, contained PVS, and transported on ice to the laboratory. They were stored at -80 degrees Celsius in the Faculty of Medicine's research facilities until biochemical analysis. Anthropometric measurements include body weight, height, neck circumference, and waist-to-hip ratio. Body composition was assessed using the InBody 720 analyzer to obtain data of total fat mass, visceral fat, skeletal muscle mass, and total body weight. A validated automatic device was used to measure blood pressure under resting conditions. Blood samples were collected after an 8 to 10 hour fast. We analyzed glucose, hemoglobin A1C, lipid profile, and uric acid. These samples were also used to determination of IL-6 and sRAGE concentration using enzyme-linked immunoabsorbent assay. The dietary data includes caloric intake, macronutrients, fatty acid, cholesterol, sugar, ethanol, as well as vitamins A, C, and the B complex, and minerals such as calcium, phosphorus, iron, magnesium, sodium, potassium, zinc, and selenium. All nutrients intake were compared against the recommended dietary allowance and dietary reference intake, adjusted for age and sex. This evaluation determined where each participant's diet met the nutritional requirements expected for healthy individuals. For biomarker analysis, we use a second alloquite for samples collected 1 year after the initial phase. 2 biomarkers were analyzed: interleukin-6 using biovendor kits from the USA and sRAGE using RRD system also from the USA. Both were measured using the ELISA technique in serum and gingival crevicular fluid at the SIGSAB laboratory of the Autonomous University of San Luis Potosí. These standardized and high-sensitive procedures allow precise detection of both local and systemic inflammation markers. For the statistical analysis, categorical variables were reported as a frequencies as a percentage, while continuous variables were expressed as a mean and standard deviation. We first tested the normative of distribution using the Shapiro-Wilk and Brown-Forsyth test. For group comparison, we applied the Kuskar-Wallis and chi-square test for multiple groups, and the Mann-Whitney-U and chi-square test for pairwise comparison. Correlation between continuous variables were considered moderate to strong when R values range from 0.4 to 1. A p-value of less than 0.05 was considered statistically significant. Now, let's begin with the results section. From this point forward, I'll summarize the main findings obtained from our anthropometric, biochemical, oral, and dietary analysis. Each of these provide insight into how obesity and periodontitis interact at both systemic and local levels. A total of 98 participants were included in the study. They were divided into the 4 groups according to their nutritional status and periodontal condition. 27 subjects with normal weight and without periodontitis, 21 subjects with normal weight but with periodontitis, 26 subjects with overweight or obesity but without periodontitis. Finally, 24 subjects with overweight or obesity and periodontitis. This balanced distribution across groups allows us to analyze both nutritional status and periodontal condition independently and in combination. Significant differences were found in body mass index, blood pressure, neck circumference, waist to hip ratio, visceral fat, fat mass, and body fat percentage. All of these values were higher in the overweight and obesity groups, particularly among those who also had periodontitis. Notably, 87% of these obese periodontitis groups has altered visceral fat, emphasizing the strong association between abdominal fat and chronic inflammation. sRAGE levels were significantly higher in normal weight individuals with periodontitis, while obese participants showed much lower concentrations. In the lipid profile, subjects with obesity had lower HDL and higher LDL cholesterol. They also show a greater frequency of altered uric acid, LDL, and triglycerides, particularly in the obesity with periodontitis group. We observed significant differences in plaque index, number of decayed teeth, gingival sites, proving depth, and attachment loss. All of these values were higher in participants with periodontitis, especially in those with obesity. Overall, obesity appeared to intensify periodontal inflammation and tissue destruction. We also found differences in dietary intake. Obese participants with periodontitis consume more proteins, cholesterol, vitamins B1, B6, calcium, phosphorus, iron, magnesium, and calories. However, when assessing adequacy, they show a higher frequency of nutritional deficiencies, especially in protein, cholesterol, B5, calcium, phosphorus, iron, and selenium. In fact, 83% had inadequate cholesterol intake and 79% has insufficient protein. IL-6 levels in gingival curvicular fluid show positive correlation with number of diseased teeth, pocket depth, clinical attachment loss. In the same way, serum sRAGE levels were also positively correlated with these same periodontal variables. Now, we move on to the discussion section. Here, I briefly summarize how our findings align with previous research and what they mean in the broader context of obesity and periodontal inflammation. Previous studies have showed that obesity and periodontitis together lead to greatest metabolic alteration, lower sRAGE, and inadequate dietary intake, especially low proteins, calcium, magnesium, and B vitamins. In contrast, normal weight individuals with good health tend to have higher sRAGE levels, explained by reduced RAGE activation and less exposure to pro-inflammatory ligands. Our findings are consistent with this observation. We also found that sRAGE level decreased in overweight and obese individuals, regardless of the periodontal condition. Interestingly, normal weight individuals with periodontitis had slightly higher sRAGE levels, which may represent a compensatory anti-inflammatory response. This reflects a complex interaction between obesity, inflammation, and RAGE activity. Regarding diet, our participants with obesity and periodontitis show more than 45% inadequate intake of essential nutrients like proteins, cholesterol, vitamin B5, calcium, and magnesium. These deficiencies promote inflammation and may accelerate periodontitis progression. Previous studies support this link, showing that magnesium deficiencies increase periodontal prevalence, with calcium has a protective role. Altogether, these results reinforce the strong connection between nutrition, metabolism, and inflammation. We also found that sRAGE correlated positively with the number of affected teeth and with local IL-6 levels in gingival fluid. This suggests that sRAGE might participate in the local inflammatory regulation and could serve as a biomarker of inflammatory status in the periodontal microenvironment. From a clinical point of view, serum sRAGE may serve as a useful tool to evaluate inflammation and monitor periodontitis, particularly in patients with obesity. It might help identify those at higher risk or with greater inflammatory activity, allowing for more personalized treatment approaches. In summary, IL-6 in gingival fluid was the best local biomarker, correlated with disease teeth, pocket depth, and attachment loss. sRAGE in serum was the best systemic biomarker, related to the general inflammatory and metabolic status. Both markers were positively correlated between serum and curvicular fluid. This study proposed the first multidisciplinary model combining anthropometric, biochemical, clinical, and dietary data to support a comprehensive diagnosis and treatment of periodontitis. Before finishing, I would like to sincerely thank the organizers of this International Congress for the opportunity to share our work. This study reflects the effort of a multidisciplinary team committed to understanding how oral health, nutrition, and systemic inflammation are connected. Thank you very much for your attention. It's been an honor to present our findings today.